You may remember last week the organisation Undoing Tax Abuse, Outa, told SA Tonight was getting a flood of complaints from motorists who were being barred from renewing their driver's licence or their car registration discs due to unpaid fines. Outa was concerned that enforcement notices were being converted to enforcement orders without the proper process being followed. Well, let's bring in Monde Mkalipi of the Road Traffic Infringement Agency. Mr. Mkalipi, thank you so much for joining us. Let's just get clarity on the things that I'm sure our viewers most want to know. If I go to renew my driver's license or my car reg disc tomorrow, can I be refused if I have outstanding fines?
No, not at all, Sally. As you have rightly pointed out, we have lifted all the enforcement orders, be it on the renewal of license discs or even driving licenses. We have done that on the basis of the concerns that have come from some of the motorists. We have indicated that they feel that perhaps some of they did not get the documentation in terms of saying they owe these particular traffic fines or there are certain enforcement orders that are going to be put against their driving licenses. So we have lifted everything now. We have even indicated, even in our statement that we have issued, that there is a temporary lifting of those enforcement orders. We are embarking on a process to investigate the whole system as to what really went right or what went wrong. And we are also calling upon, at the same time, road users also to continue to follow the law and the ARTO process in terms of saying if they are dissatisfied with the enforcement orders that have been issued against them, they should embark on a process of application for the revocation of those enforcement orders.
All right, so temporarily, you cannot be refused a renewal of your license, disc, or of your actual driver's license. How long is your review process going to take? How long is it going to take for you to go through the system, make sure that nothing has been done incorrectly?
Yeah, there's a lot of information, Sally, that you are going through. As some of the infringers have indicated that some of the infringements that the enforcement orders have been placed on go back as 2019, even far way back later than that. So it's important that we go through that information very thoroughly so that we do not leave any stone unturned in terms of saying this is what went wrong and this is how perhaps we should rectify the problem. Because where we have been able to pick up or some of the concerns have been around the issuing of the enforcement orders or the capturing of the enforcement orders or of the infringement way after perhaps a particular period that is stated in the regulations that govern the implementation of the ARTO Act.
So can these enforcement orders or enforcement notices lapse in any way? Let's say I've got a fine from 2010 that I never paid. It went to an enforcement order. I say I didn't know about it. Can that lapse? Does that just go away? Well,
Sally, in terms of the ARTO Act, there is no particular time frame that is prescribed in terms of saying a particular infringement or enforcement order can lapse, because the agency is actually not given any powers even to cause certain enforcement orders or certain infringement notices to lapse.
I see.
So we do not have such powers even to cancel enforcement orders for that matter. That's why we are saying let us have an investigation in the process. Yes.
Fair point. So am I correct in my understanding that currently you will not be stopped from renewals even if you do have fines that have gone to an enforcement order because you're reviewing the system? Once you've reviewed the system, can you then stop an individual from renewing until they've paid a fine?
No. It's on the enforcement. I think let us be clear on that one. If the individual has got infringement notices, Sally, committed an infringement, and then you have been fined 500. Well, the point is that you will not be stopped from renewing your license, because the block only happens mainly when there's an enforcement order, meaning you have failed to comply or take advantage of the ARTO the elective options. You'll recall that The ARTO process provides quite a number of rights and options to the infringers, one of which is to enable the infringer to dispute an infringement. You can submit all the relevant information if you really feel dissatisfied in the manner in which the infringement was served. If you feel that you are dissatisfied, you can provide all the relevant evidence to request for that particular infringement to be cancelled. So in all those processes, that's why we are really calling upon road users to say, from the start of the RTA, we are not given any rights by the legislation to cancel, but we call upon road users to really come forward and take advantage of these options, one of which is to apply for the revocation of the enforcement orders.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand it now that essentially you are checking into these concerns where road users say, look, I wasn't even made aware that I had a fine. I wasn't even made aware it had moved to an enforcement order, and I'm being denied the option to renew my license. So this is a period of review. You want to fully check that your system is functioning properly, and you cannot stop someone from getting a renewal unless it's gone through an entire process and is at a point of an order. And there have been numerous opportunities during that process for the road user to contest that fine and that process. Thank you so much. Very quickly, any time frame on how long this review process is likely to take? Are we talking weeks or months or possibly longer?
Well, there's a lot of data that we're perusing currently, Sally. It goes back, and we really call upon road users and affected parties to really give us that time to go through this, because we want to come up with tangible information that is also going to assist us when we are rolling out ARTO nationally, that is throughout the country very soon. So we are really calling for patience, and while at the same time, we're also calling upon road users, Sally, to take advantage of the access points that we have as the Road Traffic Infringement Agency to continuously check their status of the ARTO fine so that they are not caught up in a situation where they are blocked, or it's only when they want to renew a license, a driving license, that they are caught up having difficulty in doing so.
Yeah. And of course, thank you so much, Monde Mkalipi of the Road Traffic Infringement Agency. They're actually putting that on hold at the moment until they make sure their systems are fully in place. Thank you very much for that clarity.